Okay, my friends, welcome to the 30-day content and social media course. I know that sometimes it seems like these things are paced, but I'm telling you from experience of doing it myself, if you set aside 1 month for each task, uh, in about a year, and really even less than a year, you can be a completely different person and well on your path to success in the music industry. An impatient tone or impatient attitude or way is the quickest way to frustration and lack of success in this industry. So please understand that as we go through these 30-day courses, and especially start to get more advanced. I'm only bringing this up now because at this point you've gone through the beginner courses, you've gone through branding, you have branding at this point, and probably a social media kit, and you've gone through the 30-day power production course, and I hope you have rinsed and repeated that process multiple times so that you at least have an EP on your hands. May not be the exact sound that you would end goal long term like to have, or mixed as well as the top pros yet, but there's an advanced course that's coming up that is going to show you that. However, if you skip ahead to that, you're going to have gaps, and it's going to show. And I would like nothing more than to give you a record deal. So please do not shoot yourself in the foot and stab yourself in the back by allowing gaps in your education and basically forcing me to tell you no, you need to go back and work on different things here. I don't take kindly to people that waste my time, and I want you to win. So please stick with me as these months go by here, and we tie up all the loose ends. When you're done, it'll be a well-oiled machine that in a lot of ways runs itself. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to social media here. The best thing that I can begin to tell you about social media is you need to watch for trends. And you have intuition developing based on the advice that I know you took and I know you followed from the branding course. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, stop right now, go back and revisit that course. What I'm talking about with intuition and how this relates to social media is there's trends, just like anything in life. So being that we are where we're at, I'm probably not going to tell you to go out and start a MySpace. Now, as fate would probably have it, MySpace might be coming up and resurfacing as I'm making this video and making me look like a complete ass, but I doubt it. And the reason why I bring that up in that way is because I want you to understand that social media platforms live and die, if they're not careful, just as music trends or fashion trends do. I would not ignore what is popular, so therefore get an account with whatever's hot right now. I also would not ignore staples that have been around and will continue to be around. They have survived the waves, if you will, of the passing of time, and there's a reason for that. You don't need to worry about how to create bulk content. I'm going to show you how to do that. So what I would suggest you do for this first video is take a day or a week and sleep on the platforms that you feel you need. If it were me, first of all, you can go to my website or my social media platforms and basically just mimic what I do. But if it were me, right now I would do Facebook because they are the owners of Instagram, and I would get an Instagram as well. Not so much because of what a lot of users see on the front end, but because of what's going on in the back end with that. And what I mean by that is advertising. The people at Facebook are not dumb, and I'm sure you can look up and probably know about the many conspiracy theories and just the knowledge of Facebook and everything that they've done to completely change our culture and society. Like it or not, their advertising platform not only reaches a lot of people on Facebook, but also on Instagram. And I'm sure that they're not done buying other companies out. I actually remember a time when Facebook did not own Instagram. So I would go for those two platforms for sure. I would not worry about setting up your advertising just yet. Just sign up for an artist account or a business account, if you will, for both of those platforms. YouTube is another big staple. I don't think YouTube's going to go out of business, or at least anytime soon, so I would start a YouTube. As far as other platforms, at that point, it does get a little bit up to preference. But one thing I will say is that a lot of platforms now have their own advertising abilities. And without getting too deep into that, because there is going to be an advertising course, just understand that if you think your demographic, your people, your future fans are on that platform, I would most definitely get a profile on there and consider whatever, $5 a day advertising on there. I'll get deeper into that, as I keep saying, because I want to keep showing you the light but pulling you back into our focus here. I want to give you enough context but also not turn this into something that it's not. TikTok is probably not a bad idea, although we'll have to see where TikTok goes. Here's what's going through my mind, though. I remember TikTok when it was Musical.ly, and I wanted to jump on it then, and I did. However, back then it was too new. I caught the wave of that too early, and the content that was on there then was very different than the content that's on there now. And my scene hadn't made it on there yet. Ravers, festival people, EDM, the EDM demographic, which is probably your demographic as well. But what I see on there are a ton of young people dancing. Now, it may not necessarily always be to EDM, but when you think about EDM, what do you think about? For me, it's guys and girls dancing. So you might want to look into TikTok if you're a DJ or producer. They also offer advertising as well, so that may be something to think about. Snapchat, maybe. I don't really know. I don't do Snapchat yet, but they do offer advertising there as well. LinkedIn, maybe for more of a business thing if you're looking to network with studios. But I would be careful with that because that's not what this academy is about, at least right now. And I do not want to send you down hunting for studio work when you're subscribed here because you want to be a successful DJ and producer. The two are close, but they're not the same. Twitter, I don't really touch Twitter right now. You know you better than I do. If you're more of a writer, if you're quick-witted, you know, if you can say something with one sentence to make people laugh or think, Twitter might be a good call for you. But at the very least, I would say Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, or TikTok is kind of the floating one that I would say exchange out for whatever is becoming hot and popular. We all get older, so a general rule of thumb as you go through this and the years pass on, if the kids are on it, I wouldn't ignore it. It doesn't mean that you have to be forever young or do what the kids are doing on there, but it's more of a mature thing in that you're looking at the advertising platform. And I would just like to touch on this for a moment, because if I didn't, I wouldn't feel that I was giving you guys my money's worth. Pardon me, your money's worth. With these social media platforms, it's very important to be careful about the addiction of them. A lot of these platforms do want to hold you on their platform. And to a degree, you're going to need to get on the platform and dive deep. You're going to need to see how people use it. Otherwise, how the hell are you going to use it? How are you going to understand your potential customers and clients? I mean, it's true for any business, but just be careful about learning about how users use it and understanding what happens and getting addicted. And be very careful if you're in a relationship with these platforms, especially if your partner may not be the most supportive. I've come across this time and time again with DJs and producers. And I do get it. I feel for the partners because it is a hard life that demands a lot of time. But at the same time, it's better to have this conversation early rather than ignoring it. If they have a hard time with you possibly working 12-hour days, because, I mean, to a degree, that's how the big guys and girls got big. And it doesn't mean that you always have to do that, but if you think that hit songs and magical moments in music or video happen instantly in a 2-hour day, and then you just run around Rodeo Drive shopping, it's just not true. And if there seems to be a mismatch in what I'm saying versus what your partner demands of you, you might want to have a conversation about that or think about doing something else. And I'm sorry to make that heavy, but social media can really put a tear in a relationship. If your partner tends to be jealous, I'm just going to tell you straight up right now, especially in EDM, look, a lot of people don't wear clothing, and a lot of people are going to make videos and post pictures of that kind of stuff. And it's up to you to be an honest person, and wherever your moral code rests and wherever the comfort level of your relationship rests, and understanding that if you can't even get on Instagram or TikTok and understand why people are using it in the way that they are, and just to be bluntly honest, if there's a girl in a bikini twerking and that comes up on your feed and that creates an issue, I understand from the partner's perspective, but and this is kind of up to you to stay honest as well, but you're going to have to get into the app and see how people use it. So if cleavage in this day and age is that big of a deal, you're going to have a conversation with your partner because, there's go-go dancers and there's Vegas and, it doesn't mean that you have to indulge in all of that, but if you can't even get through understanding how an app works, how the hell are you going to tour and maintain an honest relationship and get it going? So I know that took a weird twist and turn, but I'm just trying to help you understand, especially if most of us are EDM DJs and producers. Let's face it, pasties are a thing. Cool rave outfits that show a lot of skin are a thing. Drugs are a thing. And at the very least, weed, at the very least. So if the, for lack of a better way of putting it, the young culture is offensive to family or friends or whatever, that's something that you need to think about because you're in the entertainment industry. And as far back as I can remember, whether it be movies, TV, sex sells and so does party. And I'm not saying that you have to indulge in that, but it's going to come across your feed, and these kind of people are going to be liking your photos because you're promoting to them. and it's just a young thing, and just something to kind of be aware of, and just before you get into trouble or whatever, just understand that that's a big part of what's on social media is young people exploring their sexuality, trying things, doing things. You're promoting your music to them, and it is what it is, guys. You know, I mean, unless you're an adult contemporary artist targeting middle-aged people who are kind of beyond that stage in their life for the most part, it is what it is. So think about all these things, make some social media accounts, have the conversations that you need to have, and make some decisions, guys. You know, I know that was kind of heavy, but that's where we're at with this, and it's not worth putting your dreams on hold because your partner can't, you know, maybe handle certain things that you can't control that pop up on a feed. So, you know, get to work on that stuff, and doing some getting some profiles. Excuse me for stumbling here. And in the next video, we're going to address something very cool, which is getting some photos, some pro photos done. All right, guys, talk to you soon.